And the way that I tend to think about it is I like to think about what are the future skills we're going to need as for humanity. So how do we prepare children in education for a future we don't know? And that's, I think, the interesting part for me, is preparing children for a future that is yet to be known. And so we're anticipating what are these future human skills we're going to need, like creativity and empathy, things that technology aren't going to be able to do, but are really important that we maintain and develop for the future of humanity, because then we're able to work positively and with great impact with technology, but only when we understand who we are and we have those great relationships and build our human skills. But I think what's really important is the transparency of it. But here's where I think maybe I'm a little bit different, as I look at it from the child's lens. And privacy globally is thinking about bringing down the age of consent or confidentiality for children. Some countries are talking as young as 8 years old, and 8 and 12 years old, where you can't vote until you're 18 or 19, but you can decide what app or make those informed decisions for your digital health and privacy. And so I think if that's the way that we're thinking, I think that will revolutionize and change the world. But it's really important that we think about and try to engage children in learning the skills required for informed decision making, like critical thinking and how they understand their identity and their privacy and what their data is and how it goes in. And I would argue that we need to start that at a bit much earlier than we are currently doing it. I think it should be embedded in early learning and care, and that we're thinking from 2-3 years old, really thinking about how we're engaging with and starting those conversations, so it's embedded in children. And then this way we don't need technology to tell us we can make those decisions. And then I also believe that we need to, in the same vein, ensure that children are able to, like, the language is clear enough for the children to be able to make those decisions, right? That we have the terms of service, for instance, that children can understand, and maybe even using graphics or images so that they can understand, here's the data that's used and this is what's happening to my privacy, and all of the complexity in a really simple way. And I think that will help the future of humanity and allow children to grow with technology and not be impacted by it, as is currently the case. We're running behind it, and we need to be on the forefront. Our children need to be on the forefront of the technology evolution. I think it is our responsibility, and I think everybody recognizes this. It's still evolving, and so we have to figure out what that looks like. But it becomes a conversation, and I think that it needs to be, technology is so ingrained in in all of our lives. It's so ingrained in our lives. I recently heard somebody refer to us all as cyborgs because we carry around this phone with us all the time. And certainly one can assume that that will evolve when we look at some of the amazing work that they're doing in neuroscience with technology. And so, as we look at what is in the process and kind of not even here yet, I think we need to prepare for that future, as we need to look at the trends and how it's evolving and ensure that we're preparing the children and ourselves for that future and not just what we're currently experiencing, which I think is a struggle for us. So I actually run an early learning or an early childhood studies program, and so I have a lot of 17 to 22-year-olds that go on to become teachers and work with children. And I think that it is important that we embed technology, and we embed these conversations and thinking about privacy and confidentiality and decision making and informed consent and informed decision making within our practice. So all of in high schools and universities and colleges, that we really, this is embedded throughout the children or educators' lives throughout their career, because then it doesn't feel like something different. It doesn't feel like, oh, and I have to learn this out here. This is part of my mental health. This is part of my well-being, is that I need to make sure that I'm safe and that this is a safe space of belonging for me, that I feel safe with how I am being, what my identity, what's happening with my data and my identity. I think for me, I would say what I've enjoyed most is being able to see a new perspective. So I come at this from, I come from a world of younger children, and I come from a world of love, and thinking about the importance for me, that relational component is really important in terms of feeling emotionally safe and secure, and being able to develop those really vital relationships for humanity, for the continuation of humanity. And so I come from a place of love, and it's interesting to be in a space here where people are talking about technology in a slightly different way from an educational perspective, and it kind of allows me to come back and say, yeah, all of that is really important, and technology is so amazing, and it's advancing, and it's so exciting. But I continually come back to this place of, what do we need for the future of humanity? What do we need? What makes us quintessentially human? And how can we utilize technology for advancement? And I guess one of the things that I love to say, or I think about often when I think about AI, is, humans often take the easy way out. We often will kind of go and say, oh, this is easy, we'll do this, right? And that's going to happen with AI soon enough. And so when it comes to parenting and education, those key components that impact children, one of the things that I guess just really want to remind people and really think about and grapple with is that we will have children who are parented by parents, by humans, or educated by humans, will learn to be human. Children who are educated or parented by AI will learn to be AI. And so I think we're on this interesting precipice of time where, if we don't decide that this is what we want and make some radical changes, or at least make a decision as humanity of, yes, we want to continue as humanity and impact empathy and creativity and all these love and connection and all these beautiful social, emotional, and intellectual and heartfelt things that make us human, and then think about how to use AI. I think that that's really key to our future.